into the Better Baseball MLB DFS live stream here. John and Impemba with James Grande. Today, James, you and I taking a look at the FanDuel 6-game main slate here. DraftKings had their early slate, 9 games starting at 12 o'clock. FanDuel doing 6 games at 6:35. So little change. Usually we look at the DraftKings slate. We're breaking down FanDuel tonight, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is a degenerate DFS player's dream. You get 9 games that start at 12:35, and then you get 6 more that start at 6:35. Like, what more could you want if you're a DFS player and like that's what you do?
Mm-hmm.
You're coming up something brewing for you today, or something potentially brewing today, and on that main slate. So let's continue this hot stretch that you're on, and by that I mean one slate. But we've been getting there. It's been brewing for a couple weeks now, John, and you have a very good line going right now. But 6 games, first FanDuel breakdown of the year. And I mean, it's an interesting one because you and I are typically DraftKings players, but we also have a long history playing on FanDuel as well. Like,
Right.
this isn't something new to us. We have wins on FanDuel as well. So, interesting 6-gamer, only 4 games on DraftKings. So FanDuel is including the Tampa Bay, Baltimore, and New York Mets Reds slate game, which I find interesting because we do get Great American in that instance, right? Like,
Yeah.
we haven't had a lot of Great American starts because they've been starting early, and we do get Tampa Bay, which their offense is always fun to play. So, fun 6-game slate. 4-game over on DraftKings. Most of the stuff we talk about FanDuel will translate to the DraftKings slate as well.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't we get into Vegas totals here again? A couple games on the tab. We got Tampa Bay, Baltimore, New York versus Cincinnati, Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, San Diego, Minnesota, and St. Louis, Chicago here. What notable Vegas totals are we looking at?
So, money line favorites: Justin Verlander, the New York Mets, opened 165 down to minus 155. So slight movement in the Reds' favor. They are sending Hunter Green to the mound, but again, it is in Great American Ballpark, so offense aplenty most likely. The Braves are using an opener today in Dylan Lee. The line opened at minus 154 for the Braves against your Boston Red Sox. It is ballooned to minus 175. I see reports that Colin McHugh is going to be the long reliever. We'll see about that. I don't know if there's anything more concrete there. I don't see anything specific.
Sure.
That it looks like it's just going to be. It looks like it's just going to be a bullpen game for them. So Dylan Lee and minus 175 against your Boston Red Sox today. Minus 145 for Lance Lynn against the Kansas City Royals on the road. That's interesting. Brad Keller regressed to the mean last time out.
Yeah.
And then Pablo Lopez minus 130. So nothing like against the San Diego Padres. So nothing significant. Over-unders here. We have 9 runs expected in Tampa Bay, Baltimore. 9.5 over on DraftKings. That's juicy over there. 9 in New York and Cincinnati. That's probably the best pitching matchup we have of this slate. Maybe not Jordan Montgomery, Justin Steele. Like, one of those 2 games, best pitching matchups of the day. 10 implied runs on DraftKings Sportsbook for your Boston Red Sox and Atlanta Braves game, and 9.5 runs implied for the White Sox and Royals. I think that's going to be an interesting one because we get another game where it's in Kansas City, it's hot, and although Lance Lynn is coming off a decent start, it was another start in which he allowed 4 earned, and I mentioned it, just Brad Keller got absolutely shellacked against Oakland his last time out. So some interesting game totals. Much more than it was for the early slate, John, because there was obviously a couple good spots, but it was mainly one-sided. Like, we knew the Yankees were a good team, we knew the Dodgers were in good spots, but the highest game total I think was 8.5 on the early slate. We have 3 games at 9 and even a 10 over under in the Boston Atlanta game.
We have not so much weather, but there is some potential for late pop-up showers. obviously in Atlanta, in Kansas City, and in Minnesota tonight. So nothing seems too concerning, but there could be some late rain in those games. And then we have wind blowing in 5-10 miles an hour in the Chicago St. Louis game. So again, you mentioned two good pitchers there. They got the benefit of the wind helping them out there a little bit as well. Why don't we kick it off here? We'll go to the pitching. And again, one thing different than FanDuel with DraftKings, it's a single pitcher slate. They pay for quality starts. They don't really hurt you for hits allowed. It's only really if you give up a run. So a little different strategy when it comes to FanDuel. That being said, these guys are also pretty heavily priced, right? Now you get a little bit more money on FanDuel to play with as well. That too makes a difference. But Justin Steele, Pablo Lopez, Justin Verlander are up all over 10K. James, if you're ranking our 10K starters tonight, how are you going about it?
I know I probably shouldn't be as bullish on Justin Steele in this matchup as I am probably going to be, because just the history of the Cardinals against left-handed pitching. I mean, you look up and down that lineup, it's elite hitter after elite hitter after elite hitter against lefties throughout their whole careers. I don't feel that worried with the wind blowing in. There's 7.5 game total. Justin Steele's been nails this year. 1.45 ERA. The only thing that has really lacked of late has been the strikeouts. But even without them, I mean, 3 of his last 4 starts, he's gone for 37 plus FanDuel points. He's a quality start in all but 1 outing this year. So I'd probably rank them how they are priced. And the only reason I'd say Verlander is 3rd, I loved the 79 pitches. I think that's obviously going to be ramped up mighty fast. But it was still 79. If it gets to 85, I don't know if 10.5 is like justified. That like if it's 90, 95, then yeah.
Verlander definitely seems like a guy that could get ramped up rather quickly.
He's just older. Like it's just like, do you want to do that? Because like it was a shoulder, right? So like he had the shoulder and then came back 79 pitches, like, and he's 42 years old. Do we want to rush a 42-year-old back to like full workload 2 starts into the year?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. Verlander is just one of those old school guys.
He is.
My other hesitation there would, if there was one, it's in Cincinnati, right? So like, that ballpark tends to lean to a lot of offense here. We're probably gonna want to take a look at the Mets today, probably for that reason. One of the bigger boom bust pitching candidates right there at $9,500 is Hunter Green. He strikes out a lot of hitters. He gives up runs, right? Like that's just kind of what he's tended to do this year. 7 strikeouts and 5 earned in that start last time out. Then he goes and faces Oakland, 10 strikeouts in 5 innings. I think that was the game where he had 80 pitches through 3 or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he's a guy that the 2 10 strikeout games already on his ledger this season. So definitely going to be a lot of strikeout potential for him. And we talk a lot about like certain pitchers are FanDuel pitchers. Hunter Green sort of profiles as a FanDuel pitcher. He's not going to hurt you with the walks. It's not going to hurt you with the hits allowed or hurt you with the earned runs, but he's going to strike out a bunch of guys too to kind of offset that. Yeah. You need him to get into the 6th. You need him to get into an opportunity to win, but definitely has a tremendous upside here on FanDuel today.
Yeah, I think he's fine, especially because I don't think after Jordan Montgomery, who I think is in a great spot, there's a lot to love. I would probably look at Seth Lugo at 9,200. I know you think of Seth Lugo, it's okay, he's been a career relief pitcher who has been a converted starter, and he's 9,200, and you're like, oh, I would never pay that. But you said, it's a one-site pitcher, different than paying 9,200 on DraftKings for sure.
Coming off 3 of his last 5.
Yeah, 4 of 6 overall. He's gone for 40 FanDuel points 3 times already this year, and yeah, you and I talk about Minnesota's offense all the time. You and I are
probably, honestly.
Too much. And this year against right-handed pitching, they have the 6th highest K rate in the league at 25.1%. And their team OPS is 693. That's 21st in the league. Like, yeah, we like Minnesota too much. And we're sitting here admitting that. And that's good for me to get Lugo onto my radar. I mean, top 10 offense and strikeouts, bottom 10 against right-handed pitching and OPS. I like Lugo 9,200 quite a bit.
Yep. I think, again, on a site where there is limited value, he's going to play. I bet Lance Lynn gets exposure here, as you mentioned. Guys coming off of a handful of good starts. Strikeout numbers are definitely there for him this year. It's just about, does he get past the runs? But like on this slate, as we said, 38, 37 fantasy points will give it a 4 earned in each of those starts. Like, that's okay. Why? Because strikeouts play up big here, and he got you the 6+ innings, So I think Lance Lynn could be okay, even though we've, again, for the last few weeks been talking like it's soon, at some point, this Kansas City lineup's going to wake up.
You know what's funny about that? Lance Lynn is currently the highest projected owned pitcher on FanDuel.
Yeah.
And like I agree with what you're saying, and I don't disagree that like Lance Lynn can be good here, John. But like I don't necessarily buy it. Like, I'm a little hesitant to go there. Kansas City has a lot of good BVP against him. They are getting deeper. Again, we've talked about it a lot. Like, Nick Pratto back on the lineup hitting 6th tonight. Lefties have given Lance Lynn a fit this year. 304 average, 980 OPS, 415 WOBA. They're batting a lefty every other batter tonight. So, like, there's really no breaks. I mean, Nate Eaton is over 21 against righties this year, hitting 9th. Like, that may be a break.
Right.
But there's a lot of potential, I think, for Kansas City. I see Lance Lynn being the chalkiest pitcher on the slate, and I instantly gravitate to Kansas City. I mean, the guy's been bad.
That has
like,
been my
just
strategy.
been bad.
That's been my strategy for the last couple of slates, right?
Yes, with a lot better pitchers than Lance, and they've just been good pitchers, like Max Fried, right? And
that
Logan
one worked
Gilbert.
out though.
No. I'm not saying like the strategy was wrong. I'm saying that like you were being bolder than attacking Lance Lynn. Like, I'm taking a safer route than you.
I was going up against Gilbert and Fried and
Max Fried.
Else
Yeah. And Lance Lynn is not at 36 years old or 37 years old on that cat. I mean, 4 earned in 5 straight starts. 4 straight starts. 5 of his last 6. Like, the guy's not good.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me that Lance Lynn is the highest owned pitcher on FanDuel tonight, I am stacking Royals. Not even like, maybe not my primary lineup, but if I'm building 20 lineups, I'm gonna have a crap ton of Royals littered throughout those lineups.
Yep, that's fine by me. Anybody else down here? I mean, we're not looking. I mean, Brian Bayo, I guess, would be the only actually like notable starter down here, but not going against it.
No.
FanDuel's change is they give you a catcher first base. They don't make you play a catcher, which is unfortunate. Like, why let people off the hook? Make them make a decision. Make them pick the right catcher.
Agreed.
Because who's honestly starting a catcher over a first baseman?
I mean, unless it's like Salvi, right? That's probably your own. Like, if you're playing Salvi or like against,
if you're stacking Lynn today, are you playing Salvi or Pasquantino? I mean,
you can play them both. You
can play them both.
That's the wrinkle.
There's a utility on FanDuel here as well. So, I say that because obviously up top you have Matt Olson, 4,200, homered as we expected he would yesterday, right out of the gate.
That first at
bat. Like, lefty power against Nick Pivetta. Sounds like Matt Olson night homer. Was he on the cover yesterday? I forget. No, Ohtani was. Paul Goldschmidt gets the steel lefty matchup. If you wanted to run it, 4K for him there. And then you get into that mixture, right? Like, there is Salvi, there's Pete Alonso, Ryan Mountcastle will get Beeks at least for an at bat. Lefty matchup for him there. Pasquantino's $3,300. Andrew Vaughn's 32. it's a pretty interesting sort of value the way it dives down pretty quickly here.
Yeah, so Olsen and Goldie perfectly fine if you want to get to them. Another catcher I would use Sean Murphy if you're just playing a Brave stack. I mentioned it yesterday. The Braves, the 3, 1, 2, and 4 hitters were all posting 430 wobas or better against right-handed pitching. Well, Brian Bayo throws from the right side. That same 1, 2, 4 hitter lineup for the Braves are in play tonight. Sean Murphy, 448 woba, so it's gone up since yesterday. A 448 woba against righties. Brian Bayo against right-handed bats this year, 1,000 OPS, 408 woba against. Not that lefties are doing much worse because they're not. He's just, and that's why I just shot down your Bayo.
I mean,
mentioned immediately. He's kind of been bad.
What do you mean? His last 2 starts, he's been great. 5 innings, 1 earned. 5 innings, 2 earned.
All right. Well, it's the first 2 starts of the year.
Yeah.
Really
he got killed by the Angels. 8 hits, 5 earned allowed. Milwaukee, 3 earned, 4 2/3 there. Last 2 starts though, since he's come back in, he's been decent.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Probably not going to happen against Atlanta though. I would agree with you.
So I would get to Murphy. I think that's fine. You mentioned Alonso. The Mets are coming in so popular, as you mentioned, but it's another situation that's very fluid to me because it is a great environment hitting, but it's not like the Mets offense has been great. I mean, they're against righties. They're 17th in the league. They don't strike out a lot and they walk a lot. So that's obviously playing into their favor against Hunter Green. Mountcastle is fine. Guess, yeah, you're right. You're just going to be at least in a bat against Beeks. I love Pasquantino. I mean, it just is what it is. If Lance Lynn's going to be popular, which he is, yep. I'm going to play the opposite side. Lefties are what's killing Lance Lynn. 304 average, 988 OPS, 415 WOBA. Pasquantino homered yesterday. He has been awesome just in general of late. He's still free on DraftKings too, if you want to play him over there. Yep. 333 average his last 10 games. He's probably my favorite first base play of the day. Okay. So, yeah, and you're right on the Vaughn thing. Perfectly fine because we saw the regression monster bite Brad Keller in the butt, and you could obviously play that side of the coin too. Just go back to the White Sox.
Nick Prado, outfield, first base eligible. Just kind of naming off more lefties for Kansas City. He's hitting 6. He's at 3K. MJ Melendez is catcher, outfield eligible. He's $2,800 there. We've been playing Gavin Sheets, $2,700 for him. First base, outfield eligible. Let's see here. Anybody else that we're down here?
I mean, if you're not playing Seth Lugo, Kirilloff is 2,200 again, hitting 4th, but again, it just kind of goes to show you, we like the Twins, and there's a lot of talent in this lineup. They are a bottom 10 team in offense against righties. We're just throwing money down the toilet.
It's so weird because all their power bats are lefties. Gallo, Kepler, Kirilloff, a lot of their better hitters are from that side. So
yep. Excluding Buxton, right. And Correa stunk all year, but excluding Buxton, it has. I mean, Larinack before he got sent down, right? He was hitting from the left side too. So.
Yep. Second base position here. Ozzie Albies is your top guy here. I don't assume Horner plays, but Albies is 35. I like Brandon Lobb a lot here against Creamer. $3,400 for him. Jonathan India leading off. He's just been really good. He was one of my favorite picks in seasonal redraft leagues this year because he was free. He was going so late in drafts. People were just scared about his season last year. I mean, look at these numbers, man. Look at the run that he is on right now. 19, 24, 36, 18 the last 4 games for him. 2 stolen bases, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs yesterday, 3 doubles in 3 straight games. I know it's Verlander, but I mean, Verlander just gave up back-to-back home runs to start off last week, or his most recent start. I kind of think India is an interesting spot as a low-owned one-off play today.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. I think if you're playing, and you could play Reds, it's fine because it is Great American, but I think India is a very good one-off. I think that's how you describe that was perfect.
Anything else on the top guys? Do you like Loud? Do you like Albies? Anybody you wouldn't play?
I'd probably get to them both. I'm bullish like you on Brandon Lau hitting third. I know he's slowed down like after a pretty scorching hot start. But 7 home runs against right-handed pitching. Lefties have just killed Dean Kramer, and I think that's why that game total has risen so much. Camden has actually been okay for runs this year, 14th and highest runs per game, which I think is drastically different than last year was. But lefties against Dean Kramer, 366 batting average, 970 OPS, 421 WOBA. Like Brandon Lau's power side, I mean, it just comes against righties.
Yeah.
Like it just is what it is. He's obviously, I don't think he's gonna be the 40 home run guy that he was a couple years ago. But this year against righties, 265 ISO is pretty elite. So the Rays have, John, today, their lineup has 8 of their 9 batters with ISOs north of 250 against right-handed pitching.
Seems decent.
8 of 9. And every one of them have like, except Jose Siri, who was hurt, has a 70 at-bat sample or better. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. So Dean Kramer is in some trouble here. I like Lau. I could definitely get to some Ozzy Albies if you're playing Braves. And I could definitely get to India as well.
Okay. Moving on down, value options for you here. Anybody jumping off the board?
I mean, McNeil hitting third is really interesting. He hasn't been like great lately, other than the 3-hit game he had against Colorado a couple games ago, but he's a very good hitter coming off a batting title where he's hitting third in the highest rostered lineup of the night. Maybe that's like my pause for concern that the Mets are so highly owned and they're batting Jeff McNeil third. That is like, and again, not to take anything away. That's not me taking anything away from what Jeff McNeil is, but like from a DFS standpoint, I mean, Jeff McNeil's not going out and double downing. So like he's hitting third. He's 2,900. I like the spot in Great American. Adam Frazier could be interesting. The Rays are going to use Yanni Chirinos as their long man. Yanni Chirinos has a 186 ERA out of the bullpen this year, 515 expected xFIP,
Yep.
158 BABIP. Like three. And here's the kicker that is you could just, I mean, this is just regression monster to the 3.7 Ks per 9. Everything is being hit that he throws, and no bad luck is coming his way. Like everything is just being hit directly at somebody. That's just impossible to maintain. So I don't mind getting to some Orioles. I don't mind Adam Frazier hitting 5th at 27.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. Third base position here. No Devers in the lineup tonight for Boston, so a little different.
Is that his first? Is this like his first off day this year?
I think he's had a few. But still notable. Yandy Diaz leading off against Creamer at 39. Austin Riley's at 35. That feels like a very easy plug and play. Yep. Machado's 3K against Lopez. Beatty $2,800. That's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty solid. And that
this is why
in that ballpark hitting 5th at $2,800.
This is why the Mets are popular though, right? Like they're all inexpensive. They're playing in Great American. It's just what version of Hunter Green shows up. And even if the good version, if he only goes 5 innings, you still get 4 innings of Mets against the bullpen.
The good version still gives up 3 runs usually. So like
the good version, yeah, it's like 5 2/3, 10 strikeouts, 3 earned, 2 home runs. Right. Like maybe one of those is Brett Beatty at 2,800. It's obviously hard to get away from the Mets, I think, but it is also very intriguing that they're so. Is it they're just this popular because the ballpark?
Probably. I mean,
right?
it's not like the easiest hitting matchup for them.
No, and it's not like they've been great.
Right.
They haven't. They're 17th in OPS against right-handed pitching. They have a 143 team ISO against right-handed pitching. That is 22nd in the league. Like, there's not. I don't see like this. I don't see what the field sees, and maybe I'm going to be wrong. And I'm right now. I'm just against the field, right? Like Lance Lynn, I'm stacking against. I'm against the Mets being this popular. Not that I don't think they can go off or will go off, or they're not priced great on FanDuel, because they are. They have fantastic prices everywhere on FanDuel. But like, I don't know, man. They're that much popular than every other team. I like, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their guys in their lineup are in the top 10 of rostership.
Yeah.
That's that's too much.
I agree. It's a interesting spot, for sure. If you think that's what they're going to be at, would you even probably consider throwing Hunter Green like we talked about there? So
yeah.
Let's see if you just have the pitcher nobody's on against the lineup everybody's playing. Yep. So Emmanuel Valdez is there, $2,500 at 9th tonight. I know he's cooled off a little bit. Boston, last couple of games have kind of struggled hitting. Morel, just putting that out there now, last year did not hit left-handed pitching at all. He was a right-handed hitter that hit right-handed pitching. So I don't know against Montgomery. He's 1 for 7 last season against him. Probably not where I'm looking to go tonight, even though he did have a home run and stolen base yesterday.
Hitting 9th. The Cubs lineup officially out. He is not in the lineup hitting 9th. We know he has upside, as you just mentioned. Like, he had a home run and had a stolen base in one game. Like, that the problem is the strikeouts tonight could be really on full display.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're always on. Even when he's beating a monster at AAA, he's still striking out over 30% of the time.
Yeah. So again, last year's numbers not good. Under 200 average, under 400 slug against lefties. So not his favorite split. Shortstops here. Mateo hitting 8th today, because why not? Just move them all around the lineup.
They want him to hit everywhere in the lineup.
They realized his speed played hitting 8th. So
that's also true.
Wander Franco's at $3,800 hitting 2nd tonight. Then you got Tatis and Witt, both leading off for their respective teams at $3,700. Thoughts on the top 4 price guys?
Probably not gonna get to Mateo at 39. If he's hitting 8th, he's kind of cooled off lately too. I know there's upside. If you're playing an Oriole stack, it's perfectly fine. Wander has been a monster against right-handed pitching, against all pitching, but righties this year again. The ISO for Tampa Bay is just 250 ISO for Wander, 374 WOBA against right-handed pitching, and I already said Kramer's stats against lefties, like, perfect matchup for him. And I'm definitely in on Tatis. It's Pablo Lopez, but Fernando Tatis has been really, really good of late in the fantasy department. And then Bobby Witt, I think, is perfect in your stacks here. Hits in 3, 5, 7 straight games. Double digit. Dude, he has a lot of big games, especially on FanDuel. Like, what? 2 of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8 of his last 10 games, he's gone for double-digit fantasy points on.
Yeah, stealing bases help, and then when he's not stealing bases, he's hitting home runs. So all that,
and extra base hits in general, like, right? Like, he's just been better.
I mean, that's why we were telling everybody, like, at some point, this Royals lineup's going to wake up. Right. The top half is too good. Bobby Witt got to a very slow start to the year, but very quickly now picking it back up. 6 homers, 10 stolen bases on the year. He's one of the guys. Vegas odds this year, one of the favorites to lead the league in stolen bases. So probably not going to get there given some of the starts we've seen a few of these guys get off to, but he's getting on and he's not afraid to run. So Bobby Witt there at 37. Mid-tier options, you got Xander at 35, Lindor's at 33, Tommy Edman tonight leading off against a lefty at $3,200. Tim Anderson leading off against Keller at $3,100 there.
This is a deeper shortstop position than we're used to over on the old DraftKings machine, huh? And I think it's because the pricing.
Definitely is because of the pricing.
Tim Anderson's like $6K.
Yeah, you can't play him.
You can't play him. 3,100 though is a complete different story. Like, Brad Keller was really bad. The numbers suggested him to be really bad. He was really bad last time out. Back in the lineup after day off for Tim Anderson. I like him here. 3,100 is a good price. I don't know if I'm going to get to Edman. I know Justin Steele's just been so good. I know Edman's been good against lefties. And Lindor, it's just like rinse and repeat of what I said about the Mets. This whole, like, he's a good play. He is a popular play. But what makes him check in at 28%, right? I'll just go to the shortstop position. Why is him and Tatis is because he's multi-position eligible. But like Bobby Witt is 12% projected. I think I would just pivot to Bobby Witt. Like Wander Franco under 10% on FanDuel. Like in a better matchup, right? Like against Dean Kramer versus Hunter Green, I'd say Dean Kramer is a worse pitcher than Hunter Green. Right. So again, it's not that I don't like Lindor or like the spot, like the ballpark. I just don't know why the Mets are just coming in like they're the hottest team on earth going into Great American, and that's just not the case.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm a big Tommy Edman guy, but I don't know about Steele. Just not sure. But he's saying like 400 against lefty.
He is raking.
I'm gonna pull up that actual stat here, but I think the other day we looked at it. He was like 400. Let's see.
It's 400 exactly
Still on the dot.
Money.
Yeah,
on the dot. Yep.
Yeah.
3 home runs, 513 WOBA. Like you're right. There's a lot of good
3 for 5 and 2 walks off Steele. Obviously, super small sample size, but I mean, this is like why he's still basically on the team is because he's
yeah.
So
correct.
Do we think that they're going to be contrarian tonight, St. Louis? Probably, right? Because they're playing the Mets.
Justin Steele has a 1 ERA. Yeah. Tommy Edman, to that point, 3% projected. 1, 2, 3. So he is
like John's contrarian spot for the night.
I mean, look, Justin Steele started the year striking people out and then just kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. Like he's had 4, he's had 5, he's had 4. He has a 1.45 ERA. He also has a 3.92 xFIP, which is still good, but it's not 1.9 or not 1.45. And he has a 2.46 BABIP. Another kind of like, all right, you're getting like you have a lot of luck on your side, but still 3.92 is like very respectable. Right. Still has a like 7.48 strikeout per 9, John Solois of his career. You know, like so you're not
We're
like
in. Oh, okay. We're in.
Okay, well,
I'm ready. We're going. We're building. We're gonna build some FanDuel Cardinals lineup.
For anyone who's just tuning in, this has been John's favorite thing to do over the last like.
I find the top roster pitcher and I stack against them. It will.
Yeah. Well, Steele is not tonight. It's Lance Lynn by a landslide.
By it's a landslide.
Lynn, but I was gonna go there. I was gonna go like, I was gonna try to play on like that word, just elongate like Lan and Lynn, and I just like it just didn't flow, so I let it go. But like,
I made it work.
I mean, something like that. I mean, you sounded just like me. I don't know if that's making it work or not, but just so you know, it's definitely me sounding.
Yeah, that's good. Below that
group, boy.
Was there anybody down there? I mean, we talked a lot about these guys already. We think DraftKings is sometimes ridiculous with dual eligibility. FanDuel, some guys got 3 positions.
That is true. I mean, Gunnar, 26.
Hal Farmer's hitting 6th.
No. He only hits lefties. He only hits lefties.
It's just like, what are we doing, Minnesota? That's your lineup here today.
The only other player I would play is Gunnar Henderson.
Just because?
Well,
because he has to be good some point?
No. I think it has more to do with Chirinos than it does anything else. Like, we're gonna get the Beaks opener, but Chirinos expected to operate as the long reliever. And he just like all the numbers suggest him being really bad. And I know this ballpark is not the best, but it's been improved this year. Again, 14th. This game is at 9.5 implied runs across the industry. Like there's some good things brewing here. I don't no pitcher in this game is good. Like, I don't know. Is Gunnar Henderson my favorite option here? No. I love the whole tier above him. Every guy we mentioned. I'm not gonna play Tommy Edman, but every guy above him I like. But I kind of like the Orioles, and I think I'm not sure a lot. It's always interesting how ownership develops. 'Cause, like, you attack pitchers and matchups, right? Openers throw a wrinkle into everything because at the top of your lineup, it's like, okay, well, I'm using guys against an opener
Right.
once, and then the rest of the lineup faces this other guy. So how do I break down the my builds, right? Like, how do I go about attacking an open?
You can't.
A
Oh,
team
this guy
being
hits
open?
lefties well. It's like, well, he's going to face a lefty for one and
And Gunnar Henderson may never face a
right.
lefty, which is good for him. So I don't know. I kind of like the Orioles here, considering we're going to get Chirinos for extended period of time here. Chirinos this year. Let's look at the splits. They've been super good, I will say. But again, a lot of regression on the horizon.
Five game sample size for Trinos here. So,
And a large regression on the way.
yep. Outfield here. Again, a lot of guys. This is where sometimes I message you and I'm like, you'll never guess the price of so-and-so on FanDuel compared to DraftKings. Bellinger's usually that guy. Second highest price active today at $4,200. $4,200 on DraftKings is like value most times.
Yep.
Acuna's 45. Bellinger's there again against lefty spot, but he's been hitting lefty as well this year, believe it or not. Buxton at 38. We talked about Tatis. Yoshida had his hit streak broken last night, 0 for 5.
He's a flop.
We'll see.
Send him back. He's a bust.
We'll see if he can turn it around. Verdugo, Sedmal leading off against a lefty for an at bat, and then a righty afterwards. Soto.
That's the point.
Duran's the same price as Juan Soto. Harold Ramirez is the same price as Juan Soto.
Juan Soto has some good BVP against Pablo Lopez.
They play in the same division for a while.
They play in the same division. We've talked about Soto coming around lately. I mean, he's one of the most elite players we have in the game, who has just been literally so unlucky for
a year, probably.
But it's dog water mainly due to unluckiness. Like, he has been so unlucky for a year and a half, and I don't know if there's been anyone this unlucky for a year and a half. If they are, they're like out of the league.
Right.
But it's Juan Soto who's making one of the highest paid players in MLB. Yeah, I mean, I think this top tier is interesting. Acuna is obviously the top dog. Don't love Bellinger. Don't love Buxton. Mentioned Tatis is getting a lot of ownership, but that's because of the dual eligibility. Verdugo 36 feels fine.
Who's leading off for Boston? Verdugo's in second.
Is it Ref Snyder? It's Ref Snyder. It is.
Not hitting in third today. No Devers.
I mean, I wish their Braves were starting somebody like that we could actually use.
Lefty pitching for them today?
They have an opener, Dylan Lee. He is a lefty.
Okay.
It looks like they're gonna go with Colin McHugh, but that is seemingly TBD. It looks like just a bullpen game in general for Atlanta. So I don't know. Like, again, it's another situation. Like, what do you make of this situation? I don't love Boston's lineup tonight using Ref Snyder leadoff and no Devers. I'll tell you that. A lot of
lefties in the lineup too.
A lot of lefties in the lineup, right? Josh Lowe continues to just rake. Yeah. I don't know if we want to play $3,600 Josh Lowe, but like, he does hit another home run yesterday.
I've been playing $3,500 Josh Lowe on DraftKings.
Right, and now he's 3,600 on FanDuel. Like I'd get there. I'd get to Sedmol as you mentioned with the opener. And then Chirinos coming in to
Nemo's
follow
32
him.
is pretty good.
Nemo 32.
Luke Raley is raking right
Dude,
now.
yeah, he is. I mean, I just was looking at the so he's another one. He has the highest ISO on the team for Tampa against right-handed pitching this year. 361 ISO, John. Like he's literally just hitting home runs.
85. This is an 85 plate appearances. It says right here, 85 plate appearances, 8 homers, 30 strikeouts. So not good. Not good.
How many do we have doubles on there too? Like he has 8 of his 21
5
hits.
doubles.
13 of his 21 hits are extra bases.
Yeah. A lot of power.
So lot of power.
$3,200. Santander will probably will get an at bat against Beeks here. 3K. Let's see. Michael Harris is hitting 8th.
Dude, Luis Robert has been heating up, hitting 3K hitting 4th again, man. Look at this stretch for Luis Robert right now. Look at this stretch. 18, 12, 34, 18, 28, 12, 26 fantasy points for Luis Robert. 3 home runs over that span. The stolen bases like a little left to be desired there, I'd say. And I think there was an injury mixed in, so maybe we're not running because of that. But like,
yeah, lifted from that game. People thought it was because he was like dogging it out, and then it was a hamstring. So
yep. But like the guy's been amazing, and again, Brad Keller just kind of like not good. Like every metric said Brad Keller is gonna get lit up. This game has a 9.5 implied total. Like it was bet up to 9.5. Like it's a very good game. I am going to play Luis Robert 3K. I'm going to play. Listen, we've been playing the White Sox all week. Why stop now, John? You know, why stop now?
Don't stop believing. You know,
is that going to be at your wedding?
It might.
Don't stop believing. Is that going to make an appearance? Was that requested by anyone?
If you want to request it, it wasn't. But if you would like to go to the DJ and request it, you could.
I feel like that's a Coop. I feel like Coop's gonna. That's a Coop. Like
you guys can discuss it. You guys are near each other, so
okay. Oh, okay.
You know,
okay.
Starling Marte is $2,800.
Dude, every Met on FanDuel is so cheap, and this is why, right? Isn't this exactly why everyone's playing the Mets? Like,
probably.
I mean,
he hasn't been good, but
he has not been good. 3,800 Pete Alonso, and then every other player is 3,300 or less for the Mets.
Melendez, we discussed.
Yep.
Friedel's $2,800 again. If you're not going Verlander there.
Same we said for Fraley, 27 hitting. Fourth.
Rosario 5th. You know you like him, $2,700.
It's a great lineup spot for him.
It is. Let's see here. Anybody else down here worth?
Snyder.
All the Reds are down here. I'm not playing them.
Snyder 2,400 leading off.
Is leading off.
Does he get pinch hit for?
No.
Here?
Not unless they need to. They'll pinch hit Tapia, I guess, would be the guy. If it was like a straight swap for the split. Like, would they really start Rough Snyder just for the lefty opener and then put Tabby in?
I mean, dude, they did. I mean, they did that. Like, that was the Kyle Garlick experience. Kyle Garlick hit 3rd for the Twins.
Yeah, that's a different team, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Juan Yepez, $2,200 in 6th.
Yeah, if you're not in on Justin Steele, I already see it, guys. I see your brain right now. I see it churning. You're just like, how many Cardinals can I fit?
I'm just making mention. Let's see. All right. Let's go build our lineup here. We'll build a couple.
We haven't done?
Home run call?
Yeah, let's do a home run call.
Okay.
How about this? Let's do your home run call over 3K and under 3K.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
sure. Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie's your over 3K home run call?
Yeah.
Who's homering? Mine's gonna be Bobby Witt. $3,700 off Lance Lynn.
Okay. Under 3K, you said?
Under 3K, yep. Just pick a Met, right? I mean,
Let's see. Under 3K. Can it be 3K or under 3K?
you make the final call. It's your wedding week.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Lewis Robert.
you son of a biscuit.
Lewis Robert 3K is my 3K and under play.
I'm gonna also go. I'm just gonna double up Royals and go MJ Melendez. Just play them both. Like
There you go.
Witt, Melendez, both home runs.
Could have got Pasquantino. Missed.
Oh no! Ooh. All right, I'm gonna change Witt to Pasquantino. $3,300 for my over 3K. Under 3K, I'll go Melendez, and I'll go Royals. Just double down. Maybe. I mean, there might be 5 home runs hit off.
Good. Certainly could be. All right. Let's go ahead and build the line. Starting pitcher here, sir.
We're not using Lance Lynn, I'll tell you that.
What
was your feeling? What was your feeling on pitcher? Like, I felt like Lugo, Montgomery were probably the only 2 guys that we really, because you're playing Cardinals against Justin Steele.
Sure.
It's hard to play Pablo Lopez and feel comfortable about it, even though he's been great with San Diego's potent lineup, just kind of coming around. We don't know what Verlander's pitch count's going to be. Where do we go?
Is Luke really in play? Mark Pitts. Yeah, we just
Absolutely.
talked about it. 21. Was it 31 of his home run hits?
Yeah, 8 home runs, 5 doubles. 13 of his 21 hits have been extra base hits.
Yeah, that's what it is. 13 of his 21 hits are extra base.
361 ISO, 386 WOBA against right-handed pitching this year.
There's a lot of power.
lot of power.
A lot of power. Yeah, you know what? Let's go Lugo. Because
I think Lugo felt pretty
Minnesota is.
I was AFK.
Yeah.
I was AFK. It's okay, Mark. You're allowed to be AFK. Appreciate the support.
Go feed the dog, Mark. Let's see here. All right, I'm losing all my spots, so we're also lagging. Seth Lugo works for me.
Seth Lugo. I like Seth Lugo here.
Catcher, first base position. Pasquantino?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Second base.
You loved Brandon Lau. You love Brandon Lau here.
I do like Brandon Lau. What should we go? We got $3,100 to play. Third base. Do we have a Beatty?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going chalk, it's definitely Beatty.
Even if we just do one-off Beatty, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay to have some chalk. You know?
Agreed. Especially in baseball, you could just. We're playing Royals against the most chalky pitcher. Like, we're already being different.
I agree. Witt, 3,700.
Yep.
Okay. Outfield, we're gonna do Lewis Robert.
It was literally the first person my brain went to. Yep.
$3,200 a play here. Do we want Prado as a util? Or Salvi or Melendez in the outfield? What did you want to do for Royals here?
Ooh. Well, what's your feeling on the Royals? Like, the lefties have obviously been better against Lance Lynn.
I'm fine going Prado here.
Nick Prado against righties this year, 333 average, 382 WOBA. The WOBA is the second highest mark on the team behind Pasquantino.
Mm-hmm. So $3,300 for an outfield and a util. We're talking about Luke Raley. Do you want to play Luke Raley?
Yes. Yeah. Sure.
We got a util here, $3,400.
Because we have Brandon Lau. Like, they don't completely connect, but 3.5. I mean, that's
3.5. Yeah.
3,400. You said?
Yes. Andrew Vaughn's 32.
Yeah, I was looking at Vaughn.
Tim Anderson's 31.
Looking at Tim Anderson. Rutschman is kind of interesting. Santander is kind of interesting. We talked about, like,
rather do Mountcastle in that case.
Yeah, because he's going to face Lindor is going to be chalky. We're going to play what? If we played Vaughn, it'd be 1-3-4. That would be our White Sox exposure.
Um,
1-3-4, right? Yeah, we'd have Robert Anderson. Oh, we didn't play. No, we did play Tim Anderson,
no,
right?
we didn't. We played Bobby Witt.
Oh, okay.
So we could play 3-4 Robert Vaughn.
Vaughn has 8 RBI over his last 3 games.
I'm fine.
4 extra base hits over that span.
So we got a game stack here: Chicago, Kansas City.
Love it. Brad
That's
Keller
fine.
stinks,
Okay.
and Lance Lynn stinks.
Yeah. Seth Lugo, Vinny Pasquantino, Brandon Lau, Brett Beatty, Bobby Witt, Lewis Robert, Nick Prado, Luke Raley, Andrew Vaughn. We got a little 2-man Tampa Bay stack going on there as well. One off with Beatty. So that's our look at the FanDuel slate here. James, let's give a little love to our DraftKings guys here as well. We got about 10 minutes left in the show. I know that there is a smaller slate over on DraftKings here tonight. We got 4 games at 7:20.
Oh.
So let's just do a little peek see. We'll bring that up here. We'll throw a lineup together for the folks at home. Playing over on the DraftKings slate here tonight. DraftKings giving us Boston, Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, San Diego, Minnesota, and St. Louis, Chicago, which is fine because we use pretty much all of those players in our lineup. So
outside of Tampa, like we're not missing anything.
We're not really missing. Seth Lugo, 8,200. Yep. We need 2 guys here to
Dude, Monty, 84. They just disrespect this guy slate after slate. Do they not? Do they just like say
it definitely feels that way. White Sox Atlanta lock it up from our guy Mark here. All right, Lugo Monty pitching. I guess we just go Melendez at 37.
Yes, or Salvi. I mean, you could also because we could play Melendez.
The GOAT Yan Gomes is back for Chicago.
He is. He sure is.
Yasmani at 33 against Keller.
I'd be okay with.
What was this? We were playing Grandal against righties, right?
Righties, yeah. Yeah, he's hitting 279 average, 346 WOBA. Dude, Brad Keller. Okay, I was just looking at this. I was looking at the numbers. I wanted to see if the Kansas City at home thing was a real life thing.
Sure.
338 WOBA allowed at home last year. He is getting lit up in Kansas City this year, and 7.62 ERA, 4.68 WOBA allowed, dude.
So are you going past White Sox at first, or are you going Vaughn at first?
Pasquantino. I know Vaughn's been really good, but like Vinny Paz,
second base.
I'm trying to figure out who the highest owned pitcher. Jordan Montgomery, Lance Lynn checking in as the 2 highest owned pitchers by a mile. We are going to get our boy Seth Lugo at a pretty good rostership
here. Do we punt with Emmanuel Valdez? Do we play Elvis Andrews for a wraparound here?
I mean, just say it, John. Do you want to play Tommy Edman, 4,200?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
All right. Third base. 6 third basemen to choose from. They're kind of forcing us to play
Riley. There is a lot of options here.
Kind of forcing us to play Riley.
Yeah. The only other thing is we have a very hot Manny Machado right now. I know Pablo Lopez has been really good, but Machado's been really, really good. And Madrigal leading off, but we're using Montgomery, so it's like hard to just use Riley. It's Riley. You're playing Riley at this spot.
I mean, I'll play Machado if you want.
No, the only thing we're gonna run into is we're gonna play Bobby Witt, right?
Probably.
Then we have to play. I mean, I guess there's the outfield. DraftKings is never short of value, so I shouldn't be too worried.
I already got it basically put together for us. So
we got 5,200 in that. I'm looking at your. Yeah, that's the line.
Right. Yep. And we just got to figure out what to do with $5,200 here.
Yeah.
Throw Melendez out there, 37, and then I don't know.
You could then go from like Grandal to Salvi if you wanted to, or unless we wanted to just keep our White Sox like
1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we can play
max 5. Yeah. Oh, okay. Let's not play 5.
Well, what would you rather do? Would you rather play Salvi or Melendez?
The lefties.
Okay.
The lefties for sure.
Okay.
Right? I mean, the lefties are what's killing. Lefties are killing.
I leave that decision making up to you. We could go. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's say we could go down to Riley, then up to like Sean Murphy. But I don't think that would really accomplish much.
Well, we could if we wanted to play Murphy, and I have the 3-4-5 Brave stack here for you. You pivot off of Melendez and you go
Rosario
to Rosario for 2,600, but then you still have $1,000. So still doesn't accomplish like.
There you go.
Oh, Albies. Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh.
There we go.
So just what Mark said. Look at that. Except Kansas City side instead of the White Sox side.
Sure. We still played Lewis Robert.
We still played Lewis Robert because Lewis Robert's the GOAT.
Yeah. So what was the pitching prices on these guys here? Lopez was 10-1. All right, there's no Verlander on this slate. That's why I was like, what are we missing? We're missing Green Verlander. Not on the slate.
They don't exist. No.
They don't. And no Tampa Bay. No Tampa Bay. Baltimore, which is big sad. So yeah, like I don't really see me going up anywhere at pitching. So that seems to be the decision here. Lugo, Montgomery, Murphy, Pasquantino, Albies, Riley, Witt, Robert, Prado, Rosario. The good thing here is it's a small slate. So like if these teams go off here on a 4-game slate, you're sitting pretty, right? And we're
pretty. You're not wrong.
And we're stacking against the highest rostered pitcher on a 4-game slate.
Yep.
So
and not a good one. Not like a good pitcher either. Like a guy who's past his prime by a few years.
So not bad there. Not bad there. If you're not yet a member of the Fantasy Alarm family, you see the scroll down at the bottom. Go to fantasyalarm.com/allpro. Use promo code MLB50. It'll save you 50% off the first 6 months there. That is $19.98 a month for the first 6 months. It'll take you right through the NFL season. We're already starting to do some groundwork here on our NFL draft guide. Believe it or not, the fantasy football season's already here. We're killing it already with a whole bunch of best balls. You can go ahead, if you're watching here on the screen, you can go and take advantage of our promo code that we got going on here. At Underdog Fantasy, promo code Fantasy Alarm. When you go to fantasyalarm.com/underdog, take part in all the best ball drafts. Best Ball Mania is out there, but we're running best ball drafts with the family private draft set up. So if you haven't yet signed up to be a member of the Fantasy Alarm All Pro package here, get into our exclusive premium Discord for our members. And you can sign up to do best ball drafts with myself, Andrew Cooper, James Grande, Howard Bender's in there, Justin Fensterman, Justin Vreeland, Colby Conway. The whole team is in there doing best ball drafts with you, breaking all these things down. We're going to do weekly invitational best ball drafts as well, all over on Underdog Fantasy. So again, sign up for Fantasy Alarm. We also have a 7-day free trial going on right now. So sign up, try us out for 7 days at fantasyalarm.com/allpro. With that promo code MLB50 after the 7 days. If you don't like it, you can leave, but I highly doubt that will happen. We're covering all sports, not just MLB, but NFL as well, NBA, NHL, PGA, MMA, NASCAR. All of that is included with our All-Pro package here. So plenty to get to. James and I will be back tomorrow morning. We're going to have the full day slate breakdown. It's a very weird MLB schedule here, especially for DFS. So we're going to give you a scope of all games being played here. That'll be there in the morning. No live stream tomorrow. And then we're off for the weekend. I'm getting married. You'll see us back on Monday.
Let's go.
We'll have a stream. Dan Silverdidio, Kobe Conway will be bringing you live action Friday evening at 5 o'clock. So tune in for that. But for now,